Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Only Clams. I just want to kind of talk about what's been kind of going on. So I am just a couple of weeks away from hitting a year and getting ready to do a celebration and stuff for that. And I actually chair the meeting the night that I'm celebrating on the 16th when I do hit a year. And I was very fortunate tonight to have gotten to take a very, very close friend of mine with me to a meeting. And that's something that I've only taken one other person with me, and they haven't really continued to go. But it's one of those things where you don't get to choose. Obviously, you have no control over that. I'm very grateful that that friend has reached out and said that they're looking into getting help. Lately, it's been kind of some stuff going on in my personal life where it's just a lot, and this whole concept of having a higher power and turning things over, it's obviously kind of foreign, but it does make it easier. I really appreciate the people and the support system that I have within my recovery. Working on step work, and it really does help, man. You hear all these things you first get into recovery about, hey, do this and do that, getting the sponsor, and then working the steps is it's massive. I've seen people that are in the in recovery that have gone in and out. And a lot of times I hear them say, I don't believe in the steps, or, I'm not working the steps, and then they relapse. I truly do believe that the healing comes from within that. And I actually really cherish the opportunity to get to look into myself that way and to start making a difference in the things that I hold on to from the past. With that too, I'm going to start actually speaking with a few other people that are in this fellowship and ask them if they'd like to come on. I think the next person that I'm going to bring on is going to be my sponsor's sponsor. Call it my grand sponsor, if you will. And I love the tree of sponsorship that I have. So to my sponsor, and then my sponsor's sponsor, and my sponsor's sponsor's sponsor, all just great dudes, and I can reach out to any of them at any time. It's really nice just to know that they do care. I mean, I know I have a lot of people around me that do care. It's just I don't know. It's a different connection. That bond is different, and it's something that I really do care about. And I hope that one day, if I have a sponsor, or excuse me, a sponsee, that I can help install what they've installed in me. I hope that I can inspire somebody else, but you know, that's not my place to try to force that is what I'm trying to say. I mean, obviously I do want to do that very much so, but I can't force that upon anybody, and I wouldn't want to, because it doesn't work that way. Kind of like what I was talking about with my friend choosing to go to the meeting tonight with me. They were open about the fact that they need help and that they've tried to do it on their own, and that they realize now that they need help. They need a different way to go about doing it. I'm grateful for them having that epiphany because I never did. That was not something a part of my recovery. I never got to a point where I was like, I need help. I never saw myself stopping ever. I was able to lie to myself that I was in control, that I had it all had it under control. I'm only using on the weekend, or, this or that, whatever my bullshit excuse was. That's what I was holding on to. And it wasn't until I was in that treatment center that I finally made the epiphany. It came to me like, I am an addict and I do need this help. So for him to be able to figure out on his own, it's powerful, man, because like I said, I couldn't do it. What I also want to do too is I'm thinking about trying something different for an episode on my birthday. Or my birthday is, the 1 year celebration. I'm thinking about getting a few different people to come together, and trying to do like a different special thing. It's not like I want them to come together and give me praise. I do not want that. I want people to, if they're willing to, I'm going to ask a few people to talk about their opinion, their view of the change from them knowing me in active addiction until where I'm at now a year later. I think that'd be really cool. Another thing is I also have a letter that I wrote myself while I was in a treatment center. And when I hit a year, it was kind of suggested like, hey, some people hold on to it for a year and they open it and read it, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to open it and read it here on the podcast and kind of share that with everybody, because I want to read it right here raw on the podcast. And I don't know. I don't remember what I wrote. It was only a couple weeks in to being in the treatment center, if that. I mean, maybe it was maybe a week or two in there, and then I wrote that. So curious to see what I had to say. But yeah, I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Another thing I'm going to start doing for the Only Clams thing. So I'm also thinking about going back and reading some of my old journal entries on the podcast. Obviously, some of it is not going to be shared, but I think there's points in there that I can. I don't know. I feel like the reflection would be very helpful. I'm going to utilize that. I think I'm going to go back through, read that, and share those moments here on the podcast because I hope maybe one other person out there in the world can connect with that and understand that. So yeah, I'm gonna do that after I hit the 1 year. I'm very fortunate for everybody that is supported, listened to this podcast. It is all just hobby on the side. Obviously, I have just basic setup stuff. So I really appreciate everyone that has listened. I'm starting to get a little bit more comments and stuff like that. I really appreciate everybody that does comment. So thank you to all of you. Even if you've only listened one time, I appreciate you taking a listen. So thank you guys very much, and I will be back soon with some more content.